sun rose slowly over the savannah, brushing every blade of grass with glimmers of gold. The morning wind hummed across the plains, bringing the scent of wet earth, a sign that heavy storms had passed during the night. Amani stood on the ridge overlooking the valley, paws resting firmly against the warm stone. He had woken before the first light, troubled by a dream he couldn't shake. In it, he saw the river rising, swallowing everything. And he saw Sura calling his name, her voice drowned by thunder and rushing water. He didn't like nightmares, but this one clung to him like a shadow. Behind him, voices stirred from the golden pride den. Cubs laughing, mothers talking softly. The familiar comfort of home, Burr. His eyes stayed fixed on the far horizon, toward the river pride territory. Toward Sura, Amani felt something strange growing in his chest these days. It was warm, restless, almost too big to hide. Every time Sura laughed, it grew. Every time she teased him, it grew. Every time he walked away from her, it ached. He didn't have a name for it yet, but he knew it mattered. The wind shifted. From the east, clouds from last night's storm floated like bruises across the sky. The river would be swollen, dangerous. He wondered if Sura was safe. The river pride lived close to the cliffs. The smallest change in water levels affected them more than anyone. He exhaled slowly. Something felt wrong. He turned sharply and raced down the slope. Sura, he needed to see her. Sura had also woken early, but for a different reason. The river was louder than usual. When she stepped out of her den, she could feel the ground trembling faintly beneath her paws. She padded to the riverbank with curiosity and worry rising in her heart. When she reached the edge, her breath caught. The calm, gentle river she grew up beside had transformed into a roaring beast. Muddy water churned violently, dragging fallen trees downstream like twigs. The usual stepping stones had vanished beneath the waves. The great river cliffs shook beneath every collision of water. Sura stepped back, eyes wide. She understood the river. She respected it, but she had never seen it like this. A voice echoed behind her. Sura, stay back from the edge. She turned to see her mother Sina, rushing toward her, eyes sharp with fear. I'm just looking, Sura tried to explain. Looking can be dangerous today, her mother replied firmly. The storm last night brought water from the far mountains. The river can rise and fall quickly and unpredictably. Sura nodded, but her gaze remained fixed on the racing water. She felt the same uneasy feeling Amani had felt miles away. Something wasn't right. As the morning went on, the river pride busied themselves, moving dens farther back, warning cubs to stay away from the cliffs, securing hunting paths. The leaders of the pride walked with tension in their steps. The river was their lifeline, but now it was their greatest threat. Sura slipped away to a quieter part of the cliffside, searching for a better view of the water. She crouched low, creeping through reeds, ears twitching at every splash. She didn't notice how close she'd gotten to the edge. She didn't notice that the ground beneath her paws had loosened from the flood. She didn't notice the small rumble that trembled through the earth. Not until it was too late. The ground split. Sura gasped as the rock beneath her gave way. Her paws scrambled for grip, claws scraping stone, body lurching downward. She tried to leap back, but the earth crumbled faster than she could react. The world tilted. The roar of the river swallowed her scream. She fell. Miles away, Amani was still running, heart pounding, paws slamming the earth. The sky seemed to darken with every step. Instincts screamed at him, louder than they ever had before. Sura, something was happening to her. He didn't know how he knew it, he just did. When he reached the border between the two prides, he didn't stop. He didn't hesitate. He bolted through the rushes, ignoring the scent mark lines and warnings. All he cared about was reaching the river. The closer he got, the louder it became. A steady, thunderous crashing that felt wrong, unnatural. The river wasn't supposed to sound like an angry sky. He pushed through a thicket and froze. Part of the cliff had collapsed. Fresh rock fragments were scattered across the mud. Trees had been uprooted. The air carried dust and fear. Amani's blood ran cold. Sura, he shouted. Sura, no answer. His heart slammed inside his chest, too. He raced to the broken edge and looked down. For a moment, he felt all air leave his lungs. There, clinging desperately to a jagged outcrop, halfway down the cliff was Sura, mud-covered, trembling, slipping, inch by inch toward the raging water below. Their eyes met. Amani, her voice cracked. He felt something inside him break. "I'm here," he yelled. "Hold on, I'm trying," she whispered, claws scratching uselessly against the wet stone. He scanned the cliff in a heartbeat. No stable path. The ground was too loose, the rocks too sharp. One wrong step and he would fall with her. He didn't think twice. He leaped. His paws landed on a narrow ledge. It shook beneath his weight. Before he could doubt it, he jumped again, then again, climbing down toward her. Sura watched him, tears mixing with rainwater, still dripping from the rocks above. "You're going to fall," she cried. "Not before I reach you." Another leap. The rock beneath him crumbled. He slipped, Sura gasped, but he regained footing and kept going. Finally, he slid onto the outcrop where she clung. They were inches apart. Amani reached for her. "Sura," he said, voice shaking, "take my paw." She looked at him, trembling harder now, not just from fear, but from relief. "I knew you'd come," she whispered. "Now, always come." She grasped his paw. The moment their paws locked together, the ledge beneath them shifted. Amani felt it. They were out of time. He planted his back paws firmly, muscles straining. Slowly, carefully, he pulled her up onto the narrow ledge. She stumbled into him, her body pressed against his, shaking uncontrollably. He held her as tight as he could. Above them, rocks tumbled from the cliff. A huge crack split the wall. They had seconds. "Amani," Sura whispered, her voice breaking. "I was so scared. I've got you," he breathed. "I won't let anything happen to you." A deep rumble echoed. The ledge gave way. Amani pushed Sura upward with all the strength in his body. "Climb," he commanded. She scrambled up, as rocks fell around her. She reached a more stable point and turned back. "Amani, hurry!" But his paws slipped. The ledge collapsed beneath him, sending him sliding downward toward the roaring waters. "Amani!" she screamed. At the last moment, he caught onto a root jutting from the cliffside. His body dangled over the flood, seconds from falling in. Sura didn't hesitate. She crawled toward him, ignoring the rocks scraping her side, ignoring the crumbling earth beneath her paws. "Amani, take my paw." "No, the ground isn't stable. If you get closer, I'm not leaving you." Their paws met again. This time, she refused to let go. With every muscle in her body, she pulled. Amani pushed against the cliff. Slowly, painfully, inch by inch, he climbed back up until he reached her. He collapsed next to her, breath shaking. They lay side by side on the trembling cliff, bodies pressed together, both panting. "You saved me," Sura breathed. "You saved me first," Amani replied softly. Their eyes met. Everything felt quiet for a moment. Even the river seemed to soften. Sura leaned her forehead against his. I thought I'd never see you again." Amani gently brushed his paw against her cheek. "I couldn't lose you. I won't lose you, ever." Her breathing steadied. His heartbeat slowed only because hers was near. They stayed like that, tangled in fear and relief, until the River Pride leaders arrived, startled, frantic, shocked by the scene. But the two cubs didn't notice them at first, because, in that moment, something inside them changed. Their friendship was no longer just friendship. It was something deeper, something stronger. Something unbreakable. A bond shaped by fear, tested by danger, secured by devotion. A bond neither of them fully understood yet, but both of them felt. Amani finally stood, still leaning close to Sura to steady her. "We should go up," he whispered. She nodded, her paw sliding naturally into his. As they climbed to safety, neither let go. The River Pride watched with wide eyes, whispering, confused. Why was the Golden Pride Prince risking his life for a River Pride cub? Why was she holding his paw as if she never wanted to release it? What was happening between them? Sura's mother approached, trembling with relief. She nuzzled her daughter, then looked at Amani with a mixture of gratitude and concern. "You saved her," she said softly. Amani lowered his head respectfully. "I'd do it again." Sina hesitated, then nodded. understanding more than she let on. When she stepped aside, Amani turned to Sura again. "You should rest," he said gently. "Will you come back tomorrow?" she asked before she could stop herself. He smiled, the kind of smile that came from somewhere deep. "Nothing will stop me." She smiled too, eyes shining. And as Amani turned to leave, both young lions understood something without speaking it. Their lives were no longer separate. Their hearts were now tied together, not by accident, not by fate alone, but by choice. A choice made on a broken cliff above a raging river, a choice sealed by fear, courage, and something that felt a lot like love. Far away, thunder rumbled again, as if warning them. Their bond would grow, their bond would strengthen. But the world around them was changing. And love, especially forbidden love, always comes with a price. They just didn't know yet how high that price would be. But, for now, as the river calmed and the sun dipped behind the mountains, Amani and Sura shared one last look. A look that promised, "I'm here, I'm yours, and nothing can take that away. Not even the river's rage."